welcome to Accountant Showcase. Very excited for everyone to tune in again. This week we have a special guest, a recent Innovative Practitioner Award for Julie Smith. Julie, really appreciate you coming on today and talking to your fellow peers and colleagues. So how's it going? Tell us a little bit about Julie.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, it's been an exciting year, as I'm sure it has been for the entire industry, or maybe like 18 months. We just got back from Synergy, which is Thomson Reuters conference, and being able to see and speak to, that whole community was just really motivating to come back and make some changes here at our firm. I have been at Harper Company for 7 years, and we have completely changed our firm to being a progressive firm and utilizing technology and leveraging everything that's out there in order to make, the most efficient firm with the best technology, with the best team, with the best clients.
Love it, love it. And like myself, we're not CPAs or accountants here, but tell us how you got, tell us your backstory, right? And then how you got into the accounting industry.
Yeah, so I mean, it's very I want to say not a normal story. So I was working at Nationwide Children's Hospital, which is a hospital here locally. And I had my first child, and I had decided I wanted to kind of take a step back from being that career woman per se and find that balance. And someone had linked me up with Glenn, and he, said what he was kind of looking for and what we were doing and where we were going. And I was like, yeah, come be a part of that. Thinking, of course, that I was taking this step back. I was changing an industry. But my skills, I feel like, are all relative, no matter what that industry may be. I have I have my MBA, not a CPA, as you mentioned before. And as Glenn and I kind of linked up and started doing this thing, we went through, a partner split. We went through, some staff turnover, but we saw this vision and we had what we wanted a firm to be and how we wanted it to run and how we wanted to serve our clients a little bit differently than a normal CPA firm. And again, it's just been so much fun. It's been such a great journey. And I think it's just beginning for us.
So when let's backtrack 5 years ago. So from 5 years to this time, right? And within the accounting industry, a lot's changed. Now, do you think it's changed for the better? Do you think it's changed for the worse? Do you think there's much more to still happen? Can you share your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not changing, you're dying, I think is the thing. So I think the change has been great. I think, people looked at the PPP and the ERC and the pandemic, and some people may have panicked. But I think you have to see it as an opportunity and how to change and serve your clients maybe a little bit differently and change that relationship and dialogue with them. We wanted to be a proactive firm instead of reactive. I know, like you wait for a lot of firms are sitting there waiting for that like phone call for that fire, and they have the fire hose out to put that out. We just really wanted to change how that relationship looked like. And I think for us, that's going to continue to evolve and change, especially as we have a new tax code and we have this coming and that coming. And I think it's really great. And I think the firms and the people inside the industry that are able to adapt and pivot to that change are really going to excel. Like I said, the last 5 years has been huge, but I think the next 5 to 10 years is also going to be huge, especially as, staffing is an issue and some things like that, and who's able to pivot and make that change easily.
Yep, for sure. Absolutely agree. And so as we move in and progress towards the future now within this industry, I know that we personally spoke a while back, and you've become almost an advocate of offshore staff and how it's worked within your firm currently. And so can you just share your thoughts on where offshore staff is now and where do you see it for the future and how it's helped your firm?
I definitely see it as a way for the future, especially as we struggle to, we want to grow, we want to scale. And how are you able to find staff that is able to fit kind of in your team? I fiercely protect our culture here internally because we have just such a great team that works together. And I think we really took that into consideration when we decided, to use Entigrity and to bring someone in onto our team ultimately to be able to fulfill a position. And I think sometimes the mindset is that you see this person as this offshore person or whatever that caveat may be. And for us, we looked at it as we were just hiring an employee. So we wanted to make sure we did our due diligence and what exactly we were looking for, make sure that job description was exactly to a T. we wanted to set that person up for success, just like we would bringing anyone else here into the firm and setting those expectations. So we went through an interview process. I actually had the accountant in charge who would be managing that person a part of that, so that they had a say and they understood their buy-in into exactly what was going on. And then I say one of the keys to success for us was onboarding that person just like I would any other employee. They have access to everything that anybody else would. Their expectations are exactly the same. And that communication and dialogue is still happening here with them internally. So we do use Teams, in order to do those quick messaging and get back and forth with them. But I think that that's really set our firm up for success. And again, I marketed it to our team here internally is I want them to be doing high value, using their skill set in order to serve our clients. Again, I talked about serving our clients a little bit differently in the beginning, and that's really what we've tried to do. So we've tried to really leverage our relationship with Entigrity and what we're trying to achieve here internally. And I think it's just really been a success for us because we've been able to achieve all of those things. And again, we just feel like we have another teammate.
Yeah. I love your approach to it. That's something I'm really big with, is that and you're absolutely right. When you conceptualize this, it's like, well, they're not in the office. I mean, accounts have gotten a little bit more comfortable with that, and in that regards, but then you leave the country, it just creates a little bit more hesitation and anxiety. But having an open mind, and then what you said is that they're part of your team. Everyone's treated the same way. And believe me, these associates offshore, if a client here in the States is nervous, they're like beyond nervous. And they come into this with inherited inferiority. And so if they feel like they're part of the team, and they're treated all the same way and everybody's held accountable, this will help with retention locally and your offshore staff. And nowadays, it's all about retention. You don't want your team to go anywhere. And then when you're trying to recruit, it's like, listen, these are the tasks and activities you're going to be doing, and you're going to have somebody assisting you pretty much while you're sleeping. I mean, it's all about, the millennial workforce now coming into this, like, what can the firm do for me? It's a new workforce. You got to adapt, and you got to be able to provide some challenging work and task, and be future forward thinking as well. So I appreciate that. Any final thoughts or sharing a tip that you'd like to share with our audience today?
Chris you and I talked, and I said we'd done a panel, about a week ago in regards to, outsourcing and what does that mean for our firm. And I think, one thing that I took from it is people are just scared to make that change. And I think if you continue to live in that scared environment for change, you're going to be behind the curve. So instead of running from it, run into it, figure it out. And hey, maybe the first time doesn't work for you, but go into it with a positive mindset and pass that along to your team, because I think that then you're going to get out of it what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so when you're not making the firm of the future locally, what does Julie like to do for fun?
I have two small kids, so they always are keeping me busy. I have a 5 and 8-year-old. I enjoy, running outside. Maybe that's my me time. And, I do love making sure this firm is working as best as it can be for our team and, for everyone involved.
Awesome. Awesome. No, we appreciate that. Appreciate the insight too, and how the accounting industry has changed. It's changed for the better, and it's going to be a lot smoother in the future now that everyone is kind of comfortable in this remote virtual environment, because there's a lot of ways that you can grow your firm, and with an open mind, for sure. So Julie, thanks again for coming on today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.